Well, good evening and good afternoon and welcome to Goodison Park, where today it's a big game. Everton today are unchanged. David Weir will be playing with 7 stitches in a head gash he received in the game against Millwall, which means that Alan Stubbs is on the bench after rejoining the club from Sunderland yesterday. Phil Neville, veteran of some feisty clashes with Arsenal in his Manchester United days, plays on his 29th birthday, and the goal-scoring midfield man Leon Osman is being given a more advanced role today.
Well, after having a horrendous start the season, David seems to be getting his side back on track again. They certainly seem to have found the right balance in respect of the players that they have in this squad. And I think the most important factor is that they are better defensively, much more stronger, much more competitive. And that's going to be important today against a side that attacked very, very well. I think David will want his side to physically challenge Arsenal, make sure that they get in their faces in the manner in which Bolton and Newcastle have had success. But he also knows that if this side are weak defensively, Arsenal have plenty of players that are capable of exploiting that.
Well, 16-year-old Theo Walcott's been given a break by the club after his expensive move yesterday, but another teenager, 18-year-old Kerry Gilbert, makes his Premiership debut in defence for the Gunners today. Sol Campbell is back after missing 3 games with ankle trouble, and the new midfield signing, Abu Diaby, a bit of a Patrick Vieira lookalike, we're told, is on the bench. Arsenal's left-back jinx goes on. A thigh injury has now prevented Ashley Cole from making his comeback, and Pascal Sigon is out for 3 weeks with a hamstring injury, so Laurent fills in there again.
Well, I was in Highbury last Saturday, and to see them absolutely take Middlesbrough apart, but they've certainly had problems hitting that level of performance on their travels. The left-back crisis seems to continue, so they've had to make more changes to their back four, which certainly hasn't helped Arsenal get any real consistency. But certainly with Campbell back, it definitely makes them a lot more competitive. I thought Freddie Ljungberg was more like his old self last week, and the interplay between that midfield 4 and the front 2 are certainly breathtaking at times. And in Thierry Henry, they'll be hoping that they can repeat his performance of last week, which he really was unstoppable, unplayable, and truly outstanding.
But the big question is, of course, can Arsenal do that away from home? They haven't really so far this season. As for the Everton fans, well, they must await this fixture with all the expectation of a man walking to the gallows, really, after what Arsenal have been doing to them in recent fixtures. I think they've hit 13 goals past them in the last 3 Premiership meetings.
Well, it's been a huge turnaround, I think, for David's team. I mean, when you look that they lost 7 of their first 8 Premier League games, which is absolutely disastrous when you think of the season that they had last year. But they are on a bit of a run at the moment, and that certainly breeds confidence, and David will be hoping his side can maintain that. I mean, they're in a little spell now where they've got some successive home games on weekends, and they'll hope that that is a distinct advantage. It should be. Goodison Park is an intimidating place to play at when the crowd get behind them, and Arsenal will be tested today. No 2 ways about that. And I have to say, so far this season, they failed to come up to that test when they've been on their travels, but when they play well, they are as good as any side in this league. And then you can include Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United. When Arsenal knock the ball around, they really are capable of slicing any side open, and that man in particular certainly adds the finishing touches to some of their play.
It's one of the few grounds in the Premiership, 3 to be exact, that he hasn't scored on yet. Thierry Henry, surprise, surprise.
Doesn't seem to like travelling to the northwest. What are the other 2? Bolton and Manchester City.
Well, he hasn't played there much, has he?
No, it's true.
New stadium. Give him time. Sure, it's going to happen. David Weir soldiering on despite that big gash he got in the head against Millwall the other night in the FA Cup. Teams on their way then here. And they're still playing that old 60s Z-Cars music at Everton. Some things never change, even in the multi-billion-pound Premiership. Intriguing fixture this. Can Everton continue their recent climb up the table and make it 4 successive wins? Or will Arsenal be their jinx side again? And Arsenal can climb above Spurs if they win here. All the action coming right up. Everton to do in a bit of form as well. 3 straight wins in the Premiership. And it's Arsenal in their change trip who get us underway here. And same towards Reyes. Fabregas. Philip Neville's first touch on his 29th birthday. Senderos with a bit of work to do here for Arsenal, and here's Gilbert's. Well, it was going to be his first touch in the Premiership. He couldn't quite keep it in, as it turned out. Beattie.
I think one thing you might see from James Beattie today, Ian, is he'd probably try and play against Senderos rather than up against Sol Campbell. Campbell's experience, he knows it will be hard to get past him, but Senderos, still a young player, learned his trade. Might be a little bit intimidated in the early stages of this game.
Mikel Arteta to take the free kick here for Everton. They've got a lot of men forward, of course. Cahill to be watched in the air. He was aimed towards Beattie. Here's Ferrari, who's done really well since he's come in at central defence. They've tightened up a lot, Everton, only letting in 2 goals in the last 5 games in all competitions. It's been a rattling good run, really, from them, considering they lost 7 of their first 8 this season and looked to be heading for relegation, didn't they, in October?
Well, I watched them at Sunderland over the Christmas period, and David Moyes highlighted at the top of the programme they didn't play well, but they managed to grind out a result. And sometimes that can just stimulate some performances from his team, some belief, and they look as if they've got that from that result at the Stadium of Light.
Alan Wiley is the referee for this one today. Headgear, Jens Lehmann. There was quite a bright sun unseasonably here at Goodison. Very pleasant morning indeed it's been for January. Nuno Valente, the Portuguese international, up towards Beattie. Good strong hold-up play from him. Then Kilban. Just out of play.
That was a decent line, wasn't it, from Arsenal? I think they probably feel that Beattie in particular, who will play right up top against the 2 centre-backs, doesn't have that blistering pace to really hurt you with that speed in behind, so you can afford to just come up another 5 or 10 yards.
Arsenal glad that that's just bounced harmlessly enough to Jens Lehmann in the end. Lehmann, by the way, has kept 5 consecutive clean sheets for the Gunners. Good battling from Cahill. And Gilbert tidies it up for Arsenal.
Well, it's no real surprise Everton are just testing Arsenal on the Arsenal right-hand side. You know, you've got 2 inexperienced players there, Gilbert and Senderos, playing down that side of the field, and what they've tried to do, Everton, is get the ball over there as much as possible, hoping Kilban, Cahill can work that area also.
Arteta wouldn't quite bounce from, otherwise that might have been a pretty good chance for Everton. Bounce wasn't kind to them, but the early pressure coming from the home side here.
Well, that's what you'd expect. I mean, the fact that we talked already, Everton on a decent run at the moment, and they'll want to take the game to Arsenal. They know Arsenal have been a little bit vulnerable away from home. I think one of the reasons that Arsenal has started with 5 in midfield, really. Reyes has come out on this left-hand side, Lundberg playing just inside from him, and they're hoping that he might be able to spring forward from midfield and play off Henry at times. And I think that's the respect that they've probably got for Everton's recent run, and also the fact is that they haven't played particularly well away from home, and they don't really want to be intimidated in this opening stages.
Reyes for Arsenal, who have only won 3 times away from home in the Premiership this season. Of course, when they came here last season, it was on the opening day, and they were in the middle of their invincible phase and won 4-1, strolled it, looked like they were going to be on their way to the Championship again. All seems a long time ago. This is Arteta. Good battling from the Spaniard. Phil Neville playing in towards Beattie, and Gilbert not sure his bearings totally, had to play safe and give away the corner.
Well, they have started well, and you certainly don't blame the youngster with dealing with the situation. He wasn't quite sure where Kilban was. Kilban quite strong in the air, so he wasn't going to take any chances.
Arteta with the corner. Easily claimed by Jens Lehmann. Gilberto. Ferrari fighting in with a challenge. He'll need to get back, mind you. Nuno Valente heading it away. Nuno Valente, of course, who was in Jose Mourinho's Porto side when they won the Champions League a couple of seasons back. Osman just crowded out for the moment.
Well, Everton have certainly unnerved Arsenal. I think they've been very quick to get about Arsene Wenger's team. And David will be very pleased with the competitive nature of his team.
Fabregas, and it does find its way all the way to Pires on the other touchline somehow. There's just not the same swagger away from home, though, about Arsenal, is there, this season?
Well, there isn't, and I mean, maybe mentally they're not quite tuned into games when they play away from Highbury. So they've been sluggish.
Beattie's got in behind here. Senderos recovers well. Here's young Gilbert, who's had plenty of tuition, by the way, from Steve Bold, the old Arsenal legend, who's been looking after the under-18s at Arsenal. Arteta.
That's a good back line again, I have to say. A couple of youngsters in there, but Sol Campbell calling the tune as centre-back, making sure that they're all up alongside him, keeping a nice tight line, very difficult to break down.
Weir with the header on. Phil Neville, good ball. Beattie in behind here. Great recovery work from Gilbert. He really did well there, the youngster, because Beattie looked as if he was on for a goal-scoring chance.
Well, it's a tremendous ball to James Beattie, but Senderos was certainly ball-watching, and he's very, very fortunate that Gilbert just smelt the danger. He knew the situation that Beattie. It's a great first touch. It gets him ahead of a couple of defenders, but Gilbert's pace just rectifies the situation.
That was a great moment for him. It will lift his confidence no end, I'm sure. Kerry Gilbert, who's played for the England under-17, under-18 and under-19 sides in his time, and no hesitation from Arsene Wenger in giving him his chance in recent games. Reyes taking on Hibbert down this side, no problems as far as Everton are concerned anyway. You'll notice even the cinder track's blue here.
That was a good opportunity for James Beattie. It was a fabulous first touch. Ball from Neville. It was very good, but Gilbert does well with his pace and showing a decent amount of strength as well. There was a claim for a handball against the youngster, but clearly it hits his knee, and Senderos finally recovers to deal with the situation. But there's one or two warning signs for Arsenal. They haven't started particularly well. Everton have been about them, as you would expect, been nice and competitive.
Senderos. That by Cahill. This is dropped to Osman. It's Leon Osman. The cavalry are arriving to help him, and he still has it. But Arsenal now do have a lot of men back.
That's better play from Fabregas. I think that's the type of thing that him and Gilberto need to do more of and be competitive.
Weir has to go backwards in the end. Still giving sterling service to Everton, even at the age of 35. Fabregas's challenge was a fair one. Pires. Haven't seen any of that sweet, sexy football yet from Arsenal. It may only be a matter of time, though. Henry with almost his first involvement in the match.
Well, you have to earn the right to play good attacking football. Against Middlesbrough last week, they didn't have to work that hard to get the ball down and play and strut their stuff. At the moment, they're having to work incredibly hard because Everton are making it very competitive and ugly, especially in that midfield third. And we've seen a couple of challenges that Fabregas have had to make. Now they need to do more of that. Gilberto, Ljungberg, Pires, Reyes, they all need to compete to earn the right to get it down and play.
Campbell with the header. He passed a fitness test yesterday on the ankle trouble that's been keeping him out lately. That's meant Johan Djourou, the young Swiss player, has dropped to the bench today. Reyes. Like a foul by Weir, it was.
Wasn't the best of challenges from the skipper, was it? David Weir, a little bit worried that he left a bit of space in behind. Has been caught from time to time this season. A little bit of lack of pace, so he certainly was very committed with a challenge against Reyes. But that's what Arsenal are having to deal with at the moment. Everywhere you look, there's blue shirts really launching into every particular challenge they have the opportunity to make.
Pires. Fabregas. Nicely done. Gilbert's got down the right-hand side here, crossing to the danger zone. Ljungberg! Oh, off the post! Somehow Hibbert was who hit it against his own post, and then wide from Fabregas. And how, oh how, did it stay out?
Well, they might not have been at their fluent best, Arsenal, in this opening period, but just one moment that can carve open a side. And here's an example here. Great running by Gilbert, gets himself into a great area of the field, and Ljungberg, who does well because he knows Henry's going near post, he pulls away, and there's a mixture of good fortune and some good defending here. There's a good fortune, and there was some great defending from Hibbert, and then the strike from Fabregas goes wide, but just an indication there of what Arsenal are capable of.
Beattie here, it's James Beattie, oh yes, his persistent got him there, and Everton are ahead. There'll be questions about the Arsenal defending, but James Beattie couldn't give a single care in the world about that.
Well, it just goes to show, one moment at the other end, Arsenal squander a great chance, and then Everton straight back down their throats, and it's exactly what I said earlier in, if you're not prepared to be competitive and difficult to play against, then this is what happens, because this is just about determination and brute force. And by the way, there's not a bad finish at the end of it, because he has to maintain some composure when he finally gets the ball under control. And it's a delicate finish past Lehmann, but there's the strength that takes him past Senderos and Campbell. And then once he gets into that goal-scoring opportunity, he makes sure, much to the delight of his manager David Moyes and the fans here at Goodison Park, and what a great start this is for Everton. And you have to say, they probably deserve that.
Problems here, Senderos getting across, but Beattie just shrugged aside Senderos and Campbell and scored his 7th goal of the season. Things beginning to turn for Beattie after a troubled start during his time at Goodison after a £6 million move from Southampton. Could have been one ahead quite easily, Arsenal. They're one behind. Lauren. That goal has electrified the Everton fans. Henry's corner to the near post. The bounce was a bit difficult, but hustled away.
Golden goal time, the first goal scored by...
It was less than a minute when Arsenal had that chance, and the fact that Everton went down the other end and scored. You really have to deal with situations like that.
To the near post, goes a long way. Fabregas has picked it up here. But Everton, a resilient bunch currently, and with growing belief as well. And maybe that belief isn't quite there for Arsenal at times. There's a touch of the one-touch football they like to play around the edge of the box. Pires, nicely done. Gilbert. Gilberto. Marcel Campbell. And Arsenal got the character to come back. Amazingly, and this is amazing to me, they've only scored 7 goals on the road in the Premiership all season. Only West Bromwich Albion and Birmingham have scored fewer.
Two wins away from Highbury is simply not good enough, is it, for a team that have been setting the standards over the last 4 or 5 years under Arsene Wenger. It's Freddie Ljungberg who hit the post with a great opportunity presented to him by a great run by Kerry Gilbert.
Beattie full of it so far. Arteta on towards Osman. Was there a hand in there by Gilbert? Referee thought not. He was close enough, or maybe he just thought it wasn't intentional. Fabregas here. Henry's pulling away into space intelligently. Fabregas trying to find Robert Pires. Reyes. Henry. Lovely reverse ball. Fabregas, chance of an equaliser. Martin with an outstretched leg. The 39-year-old goalkeeper keeps Everton ahead.
Well, we've seen a couple of glimpses, haven't we, of Arsenal at their best. And this is a fabulous ball from Thierry Henry. Just a reverse ball into the path of Fabregas. He's definitely onside. That's a good save from Nigel Martin.
Just beginning to click into gear a little, though, you feel. Arsenal. Reyes plays it in. Now Reyes. Fabregas. Picks out Pires. Henry. A wall of blue, and no way past it that time.
Well, they're very together at the moment, Everton, because they've got something to hang on to a degree. I know it's very early in the game to be talking about hanging on to leads, but they've got that belief from the goal from James Beattie that gives them good confidence. They really have worked tremendously hard.
Gilberto let that run, and Osman took advantage, but they get back, and then it's Cahill who thrashes it over. He suddenly found his form, Tim Cahill, in terms of goals. 4 in the last 5 matches now, the Australian.
Fabulous power, wasn't it, from James Beattie? Less than a minute when Arsenal had a good chance at the other end. And what Tim Cahill's done, he's just dropped a ball in behind the 2 centre-backs, knowing that Beattie, with his power and his determination, might just have half a chance, but he made it more than a half a chance.
Ooh, that was a bit robust from Lauren on Arteta, and Alan Wiley might take a dim view of that.
It's very high, very, very high and dangerous. They'll probably just get away with a yellow card. Lauren, Arteta really did feel the force of that challenge from Lauren.
He's not even going to get a yellow for it, which has raised a few eyebrows here.
Well, more than a few raised eyebrows. I mean, I rate Alan Wiley, the referee, very, very highly, but he's shown a huge amount of leniency there to Lauren. Very fortunate not to get a yellow card. It's high, it's reckless, When you see some of the things that go on up and down the country, very, very lucky boy to get away with a yellow card there.
There's the local boy, Tony Hibbert, to play it in. Cahill's decent header into the danger zone. Campbell got it away, not far, only to Kilban. It is a bit of a makeshift Arsenal defence, and they have had problems in that area with injuries and unavailability. Of course, Torres away at the African Cup of Nations at the moment. Cole due to make his comeback, but he's got another problem with the thigh now. They'll keep him out for 2 weeks. Clichy's been injured. Beatty's effort charged down by Sendros. Then Arteta took a deflection on the way through. Corner.
Well, they play with a lot of confidence. Here's another example, though. When you saw the ball just dropping around between the two centre-backs, Leon Osman wins a challenge against Sol Campbell. Well, that can't be right. When you look at the height advantage that Campbell has, he should be winning those quite easily. And really, the two centre-backs haven't dealt with James Beatty in this game so far. And Osman's picking up bits and pieces. Cahill's getting forward.
There's the Everton corner kick. This time it was won by Sol Campbell. Hibbert long and straight, looking to get in behind Campbell, just letting it bounce. There might be a little bit of rust for Campbell. He has missed the last 3 games before today. Phil Neville's ball down the line. Beatty having a really good game so far, giving the Arsenal defenders plenty to think about and scoring. Kilban up towards Osman, and rather disappointingly knocked behind in the end by Kilban. Curved back, in fact, and it's gone for a throw-in on this side.
This is probably as good as Everton have played this season. David Moyes must be absolutely delighted with the tempo that his team have started with, and the fact that in the important areas of the field they've been quite dominant. But he'll also know that this Arsenal side have got enough players on show to hurt his team.
Ljungberg couldn't find a way past Hibbert. Ljungberg rather felt that there was a raised arm, I think, by Hibbert, and that's the point he's making to Alan Wiley. Ref not really interested. That's an interesting point you make, Brian, because the turning point really for Everton was when they held Chelsea here 1-1, remember, and that was after they'd lost 7 of the first 8. They also got a draw, didn't they, at Old Trafford, you might remember. So they're capable of getting results against the teams in the higher echelons of the table.
I think what would have disappointed David was that he has made some signings to his squad, and arguably they're better equipped this season than they were last. And bearing in mind that they managed to carve out a Champions League place, I think he will have certainly had some sleepless nights early in the season when they lost 7 of their first 8 Premier League games.
Weir wins the header. (1-0), of course, is well, it used to be a favourite scoreline for Arsenal in years gone by, but it's a favourite scoreline, all right, for Everton. They've won 6 of their 8 victories this season have come by that scoreline, including that one the other night, of course, against Millwall in the FA Cup, and they beat Portsmouth last week and taught them in for them, gave them some breathing space. 9 points clear of the bottom 3 now. Phil Neville.
Well, they're very uncomplicated, I think, Everton. You know, they know what their strengths are, and at the moment they're playing to those, and that's getting the ball forward early, squeezing the play, making sure that there's not many players in yellow shirts getting any time and room on the ball. There's another example when that ball's coming to Reyes. Hibbert's about him very quickly.
mistake. Beattie! Oh, it was a wonderful chance, and he's put it wide.
Well, that for me is sloppy. It's sloppy from the youngster Fabregas. It's certainly sloppy from Beattie. But it's exactly what I'm talking about. You just look at the work that Everton put into their game at the moment, closing people down, making it difficult. Fabregas certainly doesn't spot Beattie. That should be 2-0. That, for me, is sloppy play from James Beattie. He ought to have finished off Arsenal there.
Pires, will they pay for that? Reyes. Fabregas to Reyes again. They love to play that one-touch stuff, and they work very, very hard, of course, in training and doing exactly that. Teams try to stop them by playing a lot of players very compact in that area around the edge of the box. They don't always manage to do it, of course. Lauren. Fabregas looking to curl one this time. Cahill was the player who blocked it. Pushed by Reyes.
Well, this is a great chance. Half an hour gone, you could quite easily find yourself 2-0 ahead. You know, he does well, James Beattie. I think he's been absolutely outstanding so far in this game, but I just think he just shows too much complacency when the chance is presented to him.
It looked like he had a bit more time, but as we always say, it's a bit easier from up here. Ljungberg, Henry in behind, but offside.
Well, I think Everton get a little bit lucky here, because Ferrari just runs up without realising where Thierry Henry... Just look at him there, Ferrari and Weir. They are miles away from each other. How is that offside? That is an awful decision. Awful decision. It's not even close.
Oh, what do you mean? He was only 3 yards onside, Brian.
You know, that's what frustrates people. And sometimes he pays the penalty because he's so quick. But that's an appalling decision.
Quite a costly one as well, as far as Arsenal are concerned, because Henry in behind in that situation. Arteta with the header. Sendros won that one well. Henry, one for Fabregas to chase. Here's one youngster who's almost an automatic choice every week now, 18-year-old Cesc Fabregas, and he might be a bit of a role model for Theo Walcott as well.
He's a very mature young man considering the age that he's at. I'd say he's a fabulous player.
Henry. Gilberto and Fabregas. Do you have the new signing Abu Diaby on the bench? He's impressed greatly apparently in training at Arsenal since arriving. Nuno Valente. This one was looking to break in behind. We were told that Leon Osman would have a more advanced role, and that's the way it's proved. But set up cannily, Everton, as you'd expect. Cahill, interesting angled ball, that one. Gilbert getting a foot to it. Arsenal looking a bit stretched again.
Just look at those blue shirts though again. And you know, their work rate has been absolutely tremendous so far. They make it so difficult for Arsenal to get the ball down and strut their stuff. Arsene Wenger's side haven't really had a moment of peace on the ball, and you know, everywhere you look in David Moyes' team, they're challenging, they're working hard, they're closing down.
That's Matteo Ferrari who's gone down, and one or two anguished looks from him. Do have Alan Stubbs, of course, who rejoined the club yesterday from Sunderland on the bench. Oh, that did look painful.
Well, the pitch hasn't helped him. I think that's what's caused the damage. It's certainly not Thierry Henry. It's just overstretched and sort of hamstring or groin, but they're not particularly well blessed with centre-backs at the moment, are they, Everton? And they won't want to take a gamble on Ferrari. He's shaking his head. You just see the way that he stretched there, and so just feeling the hamstring.
Looks like Ferrari might be struggling to carry on here. They've not made the change at the moment, though. Alan Stubbs is getting stripped ready for action. Might just give it a minute. Let's see. Playing with 10 men for the moment, with Phil Neville dropping to centre defence. Osman nearly found Beattie. Just finding one or two gaps between Senderos and Campbell to thread the ball through, and sometimes over the top as well.
Well, Beattie's enjoyed that little tussle against Senderos. You notice he hasn't really come and played against Sol Campbell and Roran, so they've been quite clever in the way that the approach that they've adopted, Everton.
Henry. Fabregas picking it up here for the Gunners. Pires, not seen a lot of him so far. Gilbert again making a forward run, but Nuno Valente is there for Everton. Free kick goes Everton's way for Senderos' challenge.
Well, Arsenal are furious. They felt that Beattie was fouling against Senderos.
And with the substitution, number 20,
Ferrari can't continue, and Alan Stubbs, 24 hours on from rejoining the club from Sunderland, is back on the pitch and gets a thunderous welcome home. His family never did move up to the northeast, so he's able to slot back in, and seeing him walk down the tunnel with his kit bag earlier on, it was almost like he'd never been away. Not been getting many games recently for Sunderland. It's a disruption Everton could have done without. They were looking pretty tight.
Well, I think they're a little bit fortunate there to get a free kick, Everton. It's a little bit of a soft one given by Alan Wiley. A decent position for them. Beattie certainly fancies this. A real interest in this alongside Arteta.
It is going to be Mikel Arteta, who is Everton's free kick king. Never quite honing in on goal, was it?
No, he wasn't, and he is a quality player, Arteta. I think one of the reasons David Moyes is playing him on this right-hand side, just try and find a bit of space and room to use his undoubted talent, but on that occasion, doesn't trouble the goalkeeper.
This is Lauren, normally a right-back, of course, or right midfielder when he first arrived, but having to fill in at left-back with all these problems Arsenal keep accumulating in that position. Now then, Jose Antonio Reyes. Henry. Bit of a slice from the great man on that occasion. This is Gilbert. Nuno Valente's continued his run down this left-hand side, but the play's going to be pulled back. Later on Prem Plus, we've another offering for you. West Bromwich Albion against Sunderland. That starts at 5 o'clock on Prem Plus today. Lauren. Again, really good challenge in midfield from Everton. That's been the suspicion once or twice away from home this season, that Arsenal have been out-hustled. It's a problem Arsene Wenger knows about. Hibbert cut it out before it could get to Reyes. Now Lauren. Ljungberg, Perez, Gilberto. A lot of touches, but still a lot of blue players between Arsenal and goal. Lauren did well there. His ball to Henry was just a bit too far, and Everton will get a free kick. Everton getting men back in numbers every time Arsenal get possession.
Well, sometimes Arsenal give you a chance because they do at times overplay, lots of little passes, just hoping that they can find the incisive one that will probably give Henry or Reyes or Ljungberg a chance on goal.
Well, one in the air, wasn't it, by Kilban? BT foul by him. No, he doesn't think so. A bit steamed up, but it did rather look an open and shut case.
Well, he looked as if he's fouled Lauren. It's as simple as that. The linesman is only a couple of feet from the challenge from BT.
Nuno Valente. Kilban. Towards Big, it was well read by Sol Campbell, then Gilbert. And Arsenal's passing movements tending to break down. Reyes, early ball, looking for Thierry Henry. His speed gets him there. And there's Alan Stubbs. Off the ball, and the decision goes Arsenal's way for that.
Well, one thing, if I'm David Moyes, I might be slightly worried if Arsenal go a little bit more direct. The two centre-backs now, Weir and Stubbs, haven't got the sort of pace to deal with Henry. At the moment, Arsenal are just playing around them and hoping they find a little bit of space to work in, so Stubbs and Weir, to a degree, are quite comfortable with that. But once that ball goes in behind them, then Henry has that capability, that blistering pace to take him away from the two centre-backs.
Henry, no elevation on it. So far the great striker has looked a little subdued today. He only needs one goal, of course, to break Cliff Bastin's league record of 150 goals for Arsenal. Henry equalled it last week with his hat-trick against Middlesbrough in that 7-0 thrashing. But this is a different assignment entirely. We thought it might be.
Yeah, I mean, I think Arsene Wenger, I spoke to him in the tunnel beforehand, he was fully expecting Everton to be physical, to put his side under pressure. You have to deal with that, and I just don't think they have really at times, Arsenal, particularly in that midfield third. And certainly in the manner in which James Beattie scored that goal, he just quite simply out-muscled and overpowered Senderos and Campbell.
Osman's ball in behind. Kilban trying to make something of it. Bounces a bit difficult. Beattie goes down in the area. Looks hopefully at the referee, but Alan Wiley was perfectly placed and saw nothing amiss from his point of view. Perez now. Reyes. Perez, but again, Everton able to clear their lines without too much discomfort. Ljungberg. There's a real old battle over on that far side involving Arteta and a couple of the Arsenal players.
Well, this is the claim for a penalty. Gilbert gets himself up against a couple of Everton players, but nothing for me there that would suggest that Everton deserved a penalty. He's done well, the youngster. I mean, he's been under tremendous pressure in this first half. Everton have really directed the play down their left-hand side, Arsenal's right. And I think David Moyes just having a word with Alan Wiley, maybe thinking that they should have been a penalty. There was some contact there, but having seen it again, mind you, when I saw it the first time I wasn't convinced.
I think when he watches the VT of that later, he won't think it's a penalty. Didn't seem to be any contact, did there? Fabregas looking for the long one to get in Henry, but David Weir is there. And that's a decent looking ball in the general direction of Beattie, but the flag is up.
Yeah, he's just a bit slow coming out there, James Beattie, but that ball we've just seen from Fabregas, I think Arsenal might need to do a little bit more of that. And Arsene Wenger just shouting towards Philippe Senderos. Certainly won't be pleased at times with some of his side's defending, but he's also seen enough to suggest that there's still openings here for his team.
A lot of self-belief about Everton. A side who've been getting results, and that's just showing a little bit in what we've seen in the first half here. Phil Neville biting in with the challenge, hunting in packs. Hibbert long, Beattie to chase too long for him.
But again, that chance has come about because Phil Neville's won a couple of challenges where he had no real right to win. And then that just sets them up with some belief and some passion and determination that can really take the game to Arsenal.
Kerry Gilbert does well. Ljungberg, but that's typical of Everton. Cahill was right on him the second he got the ball.
I just think that's great play. I think the truly great sides, they overcome difficult moments, and Arsenal have to show that they can overcome, not just today, but on a lot of occasions, especially away from home, when sides are in their face, making it difficult for them. Because there's no doubts about it, when they do get the ball down and play, they're an absolutely fantastic team to watch. But they need to deal with that physical side as well.
Temperature just beginning to rise, even on this mildish January day. Fabregas having plenty to say, and the referee Alan Wiley just trying to keep the lid on it at the moment.
It's something and nothing. I mean, that's just frustration really from the youngster Fabregas. And it's something and nothing. The referee deal with it. Let's get on with a pulsating first half.
Big week as well for Arsenal. They've got the second leg of the League Cup semi-final against Wigan. They're one down from the first, remember, and then a difficult trip in the FA Cup to Bolton Wanderers. Pires here had to rather dig it out from under his feet and couldn't quite get hold of it.
It's a decent chance that's come about because he's won an important challenge in that midfield area against Philip Neville. They've normally gone the other way so far in this first half, and that's the type of desire, determination that I think that Arsenal midfield need to approach the game with. Because so far we've been talking about the performances of Neville, Cahill, Kilban, Arteta, Osman, Beattie. It's really the front six of Everton which have shown up more than the front six of Arsenal.
Campbell's header away. Arsenal have hit the post, but generally they've tended to bounce off the blue wall of Everton defenders and midfield players.
And that's why I think that Beattie miss is crucial, because at 2-0 that really is difficult for Arsenal to come back from. And I thought he showed a degree of complacency the way that he took on that chance. He had time and room just to go past Lehmann and slot it home. But while it's still 1-0, Arsenal have a big chance to still be in this football match.
Senderos long towards Henry, not long enough because Weir is there. So another up and under for Beattie to chase. He's proved he's well capable of doing that. He's given those Arsenal central defenders a really hard time today. He's played, by the way, this is the 15th time he's played against Arsenal in his career. He'd only scored against them in one of those meetings before that. That was 2 for Southampton in a win for them. Reyes.
They just play the percentage game. We've just seen it there from Cahill. He just knocked that ball long. He's got nothing else in his mind other to really try and get Arsenal running back towards their own goal.
You could say there's a contrast of styles going on here.
But there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's what annoys me about people picking holes in Bolton Wanderers. You know, if you've got players that play that way and you've got success, then why not? You know, the great teams play direct at times. There's nothing wrong with it. And David Moyes has approached the game in that vein. He's got the players to be successful because of it, and they've got some success in this first half.
There's an argument for saying the beauty's in the blend, really, isn't there? Kilban down towards Cahill here. It was a good block by Gilberto. He had to be there. Fabregas. Pires. And again, great hustling by Everton. Senderos tries to turn with it, runs into trouble. Osman's got it off him here. But in the end, there's a posse of yellow shirts. Osman goes down. There was no question, I think, once again, of there being a spot kick there. Phil Neville, great ball, but offside against Beattie. Picked that one up beautifully. Beattie does deposit it in the back of the net, just for fun.
That must have been close. Clever ball, isn't it, from Neville? You can see there James Beattie looking right across the line. He's offside. No two ways about it, but it's probably poor play in some respects because he can see right across that back line of Arsenal.
It was a cracking ball from Philip Neville. Yellow card here for James Beattie for that challenge on Pires.
Well, this is what Everton have been about. Sometimes they've got it right within the laws, and other times they haven't. And there's a late challenge on Robert Pires, but he's made himself be known in this football match. James Beattie probably feels that Pires has gone to ground too easily, mind you, but he really has given the two centre-backs a torrid afternoon so far.
Reyes, clever little ball around the corner, but rather symbolises Arsenal's first half, that. Something goes wrong when they go outside N5, it seems, this season. They do lack, I've always found it, the physical presence of Vieira in central midfield.
Well, I think sometimes, even when Patrick wasn't playing well, just the mere fact he was on the football field would intimidate the opposition.
There's the half-time whistle. It's a great half for Everton. James Beattie, his persistence and muscularity, edging out the Arsenal defenders. He's put them ahead, and he had a golden chance as well to make it 2-0. Arsenal did hit the post. Freddie Ljungberg nearly scored his first Premiership goal of the season. Wasn't to be. Beattie's still finding reason to argue with Alan Wiley and his officials as he goes off at half-time, but Everton should be pretty pleased with their work. They lead here by 1-0, and Arsene Wenger has got a problem or two to sort out at half-time. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, Thierry Henry with a point or two to make to referee Alan Wiley. Just glancing at the table, Brian Marwood and I, during half-time, and Everton will climb to 11th place for the time being anyway. Should they hold on to the victory here, they'll almost need oxygen masks, won't they, for that?
Well, they'll be delighted if they can get up to that sort of position around about this time of the season. Still a lot of games to play. And the fact is that I'm sure they'll still be harbouring hopes of maybe still getting a UEFA Cup spot.
No changes yet for Arsenal as they seek to change the pattern here. Thoroughly professional performance by Everton in that first half. Simply hustled Arsenal out of it, really. Campbell winning the header. Here's Arteta.
Well, already they've made a change to their formation, Arsenal. We talked in the first half, they went 4-5-1. Henry playing up top on his own. Now Reyes is going to join him, more traditional 4-4-2, try to give them a little bit more going forward.
Here's Pires. Kerry Gilbert, the 18-year-old. by Nuno Valente. We're told that Matteo Ferrari, by the way, has aggravated a sciatic nerve, which people with better knowledge of medicine than me might be able to decode a little, but it's not a hamstring injury. He did overstretch, as you saw. It was almost a circus stunt with the splits over there. Painful. Campbell playing this long, but nobody that deep. Goalkeepers at that street end of the ground definitely needing their caps, sun in their eyes.
It's very difficult to deal with, and certainly I think the two centre-backs might have been troubled in the first half, Campbell and Senderos.
Big problem, you know, in the northwest in January, sunshine.
Just address all your complaints to Ian Dark, care of Sky.
Anywhere in England, really. Here's Campbell. Henry, important little flick. Ljungberg back to him. It's Thierry Henry! And it's blocked on the way through by Nuno Valente.
Well, that was a bit better, wasn't it? Henry won the initial header and involved on a couple of more occasions. Now they'd love to get a goal so early in this second half, Arsenal.
A lot of players forward as this corner comes in. Senderos is one of them there. It's looked like it might come out to Fabregas, but Kilban can hammer it out of harm's way.
Two centre-backs almost getting each other's way at the far post, Campbell and Senderos. And David Moyes will be a little bit perturbed that Campbell managed to get a free header.
Henry, Fabregas. Much involved one way and another today. The young Spaniard. Goal kick is the decision.
Yeah, good tackle by him. No complaints from Fabregas, but good link-up play between him and Henry from the throw-in.
He's never scored away from home yet, says Fabregas, for Arsenal. Had a real chance to do so in the first half a couple of times.
I don't think he's going to be a prolific goal scorer from midfield. I think his strengths are getting the ball down and pass. Good quality, good awareness of players around him.
Gilbert. Arsenal just looking to raise the tempo. It was an interesting ball in from him.
I think they started well in the second half, Arsenal. And Everton really need to pick up the tempo that they showed in the first 45 minutes. And they were outstanding in the way that they closed Arsenal down, made it very difficult for them.
You just sense, don't you, that this is a big 45 minutes in Arsenal's season. They're looking to build up a momentum after that 7-0 win last week, and they want to, I think, show the nation that they're not soft touches away from home. Frankly, they have been for most of the first half of the season.
Well, don't forget that they've been on a decent run of late as well, Arsenal, in terms of results and the fact that they've defended particularly well. So it's been challenged today.
Easy for Hibbert. Nonchalant little header, wasn't it, from Pires back to Campbell. Senderos looking for the diagonal ball. Henry again looking to pull in behind, but it was meat and drink again to the Everton defenders.
David Moyes thinks his side might be just sitting a little bit too deep. And they're stretched really from back to front. And that'll create space for Arsenal to just pop little passes around and make it difficult for the home team. You can see there in the first half you would have seen Fabregas under a lot more pressure when he picked that ball up.
Here's Ljungberg. Now Gilbert. Kolo Touré, by the way, in action at this moment in the African Cup of Nations for the Ivory Coast. Henry getting in behind with a clever run. Good movement from him. Takes on Hibbert, but Hibbert made sure that he didn't get any further. Play on, says the referee, because Arsenal have it. Lauren down this side. David Weir with the challenge. Goal kick, and well, Lauren's convinced that came off Weir last.
Well, he had to cover David Weir there, and they're seeing a lot more action at the moment, this Everton back four, than they did in the first 45 minutes. You know, Lauren getting forward from left back. You can clearly see the last touch does come off Lauren. Good decision. So, one or two questions now being asked of this Everton rearguard.
David Weir's been on the bench for the last couple of Premiership games. Back in the starting lineup today, of course, Per Kroldrup, the central defender Everton bought for £5 million, has been sold to Fiorentina for something rather less than that. And Marcus Bent, of course, has gone to Charlton this week. Ljungberg. Put out by Kilbaum, who's almost having to become an auxiliary defender here. Ljungberg, Kilbaum's challenge. Ljungberg got up very quickly, made nothing of it, to his credit. But the referee, I think, might book Kilbaum anyway here.
Well, he set the tone in many respects, the referee, when he let Lauren's challenge in the first half go unpunished, so it certainly wasn't as bad. But what it does, it gives Arsenal a free kick in a decent position. If Reyes can find a quality to get that ball between that defensive line and the goalkeeper. It's very difficult to defend against with that sun.
Reyes. Sun or otherwise, the cap did its job for Nigel Martin.
That was a good claim, wasn't it, from Martin? Need to be a little flatter, though, from the free kick from Reyes.
Lauren's ball forward. Henry couldn't contest it because he would have become active, and on something else, a late challenge by Fabregas on Phil Neville. The referee has seen that. They'll be having a word, I think, in a minute when there's a lull in the play. Nuno Valente, Kevin Kilbaum. And the referee rather got in the way of Fabregas, but it doesn't matter. Arsenal pick it up anyway. Perez. Now Reyes. Perez again, but again there are so many blue shirts back that it's very, very difficult to find a combination to the safe, so to speak.
Well, they're not competing for me, Everton, in the way that they did in the first half, and that'll be a problem to David Moyes, because he knows that if he allows this Arsenal side to dictate the play, particularly in that midfield third, then his team are in trouble.
Henry. Cross towards Reyes. Gilberto, now Ljungberg. Bit of a head of steam building up here from Arsenal. A lot of defending for Everton to do. Reyes, that will not be a problem to them.
That was ambitious, wasn't it? Ran about 20 yards, gets it onto his favoured left foot. But again, I have to say, Arsenal are getting far too much room. And you have to think there's only going to be one outcome. It's probably an equaliser, because they have enough quality in the midfield third and also in the attacking third to really exploit Everton, allowing them to just dictate the play. And that's what's happening at the moment. It's all Arsenal since half-time.
Misunderstanding there between Weir and Stubbs. The old firm reunited at the back today. Valente's challenge on Reyes has been left in a bit of a heap. And is there going to be a yellow card here for the Portuguese international?
They're certainly under a lot more pressure, aren't they, at the moment? And Reyes probably relishing the opportunity to play a little bit further forward, just chasing the ball down against Nuno Valente. It's probably a ball that he wasn't favourite to win, but that's a poor challenge, and probably deserving of a yellow card. Two-footed, 4 feet off the ground when he makes the challenge. I don't think he can have any complaints.
Everton probably still wondering how Lauren got away with that one in the first half, mind you, as we were at half-time looking at it again. Arsenal camped out in the Everton half in the second period. Pires, but Everton defending solidly, as you might expect. Gilbert to play it in this time. Campbell had come forward from the back. He scored both goals on his return to Premiership action after an injury earlier in the season at Highbury when Arsenal won 2-0. Of course, they beat Everton 7-0 at Highbury at the back end of last season. Won 4-1 here, beat them in the League Cup 3-1. Everton might feel they owe Arsenal one. Cahill. Looked like a fair challenge from Sanderos. Referee certainly thought so. Now Ljungberg. Henry down the channel. No, he's not going to get there. The coverings good. It was Alan Stubbs. Probably didn't think he'd get this much action today on his return to Everton. He's had to come off the bench with Ferrari injuring a sciatic nerve. Ljungberg offside here against Gilbert. It was a good run. Must have been tight.
Well, they're outplaying them at the moment, aren't they? They're getting a lot of joy with their passing and the quality that they're showing. Again, that's a poor decision. You know, that's two now that we've seen at either end, which they're not even close. Not even close.
It's Trevor Massey, the assistant, on this side. Again, that looked about 2 yards onside, looking at the cut of the grass. Cahill's header. It's a lively pitch, a lot of bounce in it. They did have the sprinklers on when we got here, not far beyond the crack of dawn this morning. Everton fans trying to lift their side, thoroughly enjoying this rebirth of the Blues in the last few months. Mind you, it wasn't long ago. They seem to be losing 4-0 every week. They've picked it up again since then. Gilberto helping it forward. Neville's challenge. Fabregas trying to invent something out of nothing nearly. Hibbert's there.
Well, they're losing out on the majority of the challenges, aren't they? Everton, and that's why Arsenal have really dominated this second half, and that's why I felt that miss from James Beattie was so crucial.
Certainly would have given them more of a cushion. Kilban still feeding into Cahill. It's come here to Osman. Was Cahill being held back by Campbell there? He thought so, by the hand. Again, the referee was close. Play on, he says. Henry's through ball. Reyes, he's got nobody to aim at.
Well, he took his time, he waited. He realised that Freddie Ljungberg had made up all of 25 yards, but that's a poor delivery into the danger area.
Ljungberg was trying to arrive, but I think at the moment the ball got there was just nothing for him in the middle. Osman does well, his confidence high after scoring an equaliser at Millwall in the FA Cup and the winner at Portsmouth recently. That's gone out of play, a bit sloppy from Everton that time. Philippe Senderos going to the World Cup with Switzerland. Henry, it's well played by Nuno Valente. Henry gets away from Nuno Valente, but this time Stubbs is there covering. Everton looking a lot like the side that got to 4th place last season. Well, tough to beat.
Well, you're saying tough to beat. I just don't think that they're doing the ugly things as well in this second half as they did in the first half. And I think that's their problem. Just look at the room now that Arsenal players are getting. This is looking fairly ominous, I think, for David Moyes' side.
There's a foul on Reyes. Cahill was the culprit.
Well, he's not happy, Tim Cahill. He gets very close to Reyes. Guilty at times, Reyes, of going to ground fairly quickly, but That time the referee deemed it was a free kick. Good opportunity again for Arsenal. I felt they maybe wasted the last one when Reyes took it. This time Henry's gone to deliver.
Thierry Henry, who even from this kind of angle would be very dangerous, the way he can whip the ball. It is Henry, and it's easily blocked. Philip Neville getting in the way, veteran of many Man U Arsenal battles down the years, and battle would be the right word for some of them. Here's Ljungberg. Down towards Fabregas, but still nothing doing for Arsenal, who can't get the payoff for a lot of second-half pressure.
It's a difficult ball to play, wasn't it, from Freddie Ljungberg. Fabregas again making that forward run from midfield. He's done that on a number of occasions, and Everton are struggling just to pick the runs that he's making. But one or two things for Arsene Wenger to sort out in his own mind at the moment. Does he look to shuffle the plat? He's got Kleb from an attacking sense that he could throw on and try to get a little bit more width down that left-hand side.
Henry, but it didn't quite work to meet the diagonal run of Jose Antonio Reyes. Everton leading by a goal tonight. That was a problem really with Reyes trying to block the kick by Nigel Martin. I'd rather you didn't do that, I think is what he was saying.
Yeah, just a few words, isn't it, from the referee. That's all it takes. A few words from his teammates as well, I think, Reyes. They don't really want to slow the game down. They want to make sure that they get the ball back and attack Everton again.
Henry's well-timed jump. Weir hacks it away for Everton. This might be a longish, what is it, 27 minutes or so for the Everton fans.
Well, at the moment it's been backs to the wall, hasn't it, for Everton? But they have got that lead, and you know, that gives them some hope, something to hang on to, some belief that they can pick up 3 points here. What a huge boost that would be for their season if they can beat Arsenal.
Well, 3 wins on the bounce in the Premiership's already their best run for 16 months in the league. This, of course, would be a huge scalp and confirmation of the Everton revival. Might even be looking to push on into the top half of the table. Osman can chase this. Here's Leon Osman into the danger zone. Oh, what an interception by Sol Campbell. He had to win that because Beattie was lurking with intent behind.
It's an interesting one, this, isn't it? Because Beattie is certainly active, but the ball goes to Osman, does brilliantly there, Osman. He just spots out the opening, and there is an awful lot of room to really thread a ball into the danger area. It's a terrific challenge from Sol Campbell.
Very important piece of defending that. And there's a bit more to do now, because here comes the corner. Oh, and the header over the bar from Cahill, who is such a menace in those situations.
Well, he's not the tallest, but how many times do you see him get into positions like this and win the header in front of defenders? You know, that's against Sol Campbell, he's won that header, and you really wouldn't expect that to happen. And that's really just about timing. The quality of his runs are very good indeed, and that really gets him into so many goal-scoring situations.
Hibbert won it back well there. Beattie. Bit of support arriving. Hibbert. Not what they were requiring at all. Yeah, talking about Tim Cahill then, and he's had a bit of a revival. He was telling the story, I was reading it this morning in Alan Smith's article in the Daily Telegraph. Apparently when Australia qualified for the World Cup, they had John Travolta in the dressing room doing a sing-song with them.
Well, he very nearly was singing there, wasn't he, to celebrate a goal. Good timing of the run from the set piece.
Everton's ball.
He's playing incredibly deep, Robert Perez, and he's picking the ball up at times in areas where I don't think Arsenal want him to have the ball. you know, he's at his best when he's in the attacking third. At the moment, he's almost trying to go into his back four to get on the ball and create something from his team.
Arteta, not enough elevation, easily cut out by the first defender, who was Lauren on this occasion. Osman working back, typical of Everton's high work ethic today. Much admired by George Graham at half-time, as you might have been hearing. Nuno Valente. Here's Ljungberg. They're looking for Henry. Hibbert had to win that. Henry was lurking behind him. Pires! Didn't get hold of it.
That's a decent try, but that's where they want Robert Pires playing, where he can be a real threat to the opposition. But again, good play from Everton. Ljungberg gets some time to pick out the pass towards Henry. Decent defending from Hibbert. You're always looking to test the goalkeeper, but from distance, I wonder whether David Moyes might be thinking about Duncan Ferguson, just to shake things up a wee bit, as well as Osman and Beattie in particular have played. I think he needs his side to get back to that physical challenge. He's not warming up at the moment, but he's a big option for him.
Linked with a move to Portsmouth, wasn't he, recently, Duncan Ferguson, but says he prefers to stay here at Goodison.
It's interesting that only a few weeks ago he was questioning whether he's still capable of playing at this level. He's an important part, has been an important part of Everton's progress since David Moyes has been at this club.
I say linked with a move to Portsmouth. Most people have been, haven't they, in the recent days. Tense battle here between the two longest serving members of the top flight. Arsenal have been in it since 1919 and Everton since 1954. So those two have been trading punches for the last 52 seasons in this league. And tomorrow, some fair old action to bring you on Sky Sports. First of all, it's the leaders Chelsea against Charlton, who won there, didn't they, in a penalty shootout in the League Cup earlier on in the season, you might remember. And then the big one, Manchester United and Liverpool. That starts at 3:30 on Sky Sports 1 from Old Trafford. Gilberto. Nuno Valente. Alan Stubbs up to Leon Osman. And a good run in the side now, Osman. It's a very good challenge from Senderos. Cahill caught by Gilberto. Gilberto not happy, but he gets a yellow card for it.
Well, he might have got the ball, but it's a challenge from behind, and as we know, we see it week after week. If players adopt this type of approach, then they are going to get a yellow card. Again, really, Robert Pires playing in the wrong position, really, for me. Almost getting his side in trouble, and Gilberto, a challenge from behind on Cahill. No real surprise to see a yellow card. Sets up Everton really with a free kick to trouble Jens Lehmann, which hasn't really happened in this second half. Not had any pressure against the Arsenal goalkeeper.
Arteta's free kick. Was there a push there on Senderos as the ball was played in? The referee thought not. Senderos went down under Cahill's challenge. And they decided there that Cahill did become active, so that was why the offside was given.
Well, I think Arsenal are going to shake things up now. We've seen Pat Rice the shout to Alexander Klepp. He certainly needs some greater attacking impetus. They've had enough of the play, really, to have carved out more opportunities than they have in this second half. They have been the better side without being a real threat.
Lauren. Fabregas wide for Pires. Fabregas. Henry. Would only take one moment from him to change the mood here, of course. Everton will know that. Important 2 minds for a moment there, Jens Lehmann, the goalkeeper. Inside the last 20 minutes, though, now. Well, they're claiming a pass back there, but it didn't, in all honesty, look much like one.
I'm just laughing at Jens Lehmann, he can't help himself, can he? He's got to get involved, doesn't he? He's just shoulder barge James Beattie.
Gilbert. Philip Neville with Ljungberg, who feels he was wrong there. Felt that he was a bit over the top, the muscularity of the challenge by Phil Neville. Now Fabregas has got in behind here, and to the rescue, Alan Stubbs.
Well, they've done that on a couple of occasions. David Weir and Alan Stubbs, they've had to cover for their fullbacks. And they've had difficult moments to deal with. The last corner from this side, Campbell. Got a free header at the far post.
Reyes, Campbell, who will feel he might have done a bit better with that, I think.
Didn't deal with it again, did they? It wasn't a header that he approached with a great deal of confidence, Sol Campbell. He gets there, can't direct the header towards goal.
38, Kerry Gilbert, to be replaced by number 13, Alex Haleb.
Well, Kerry Gilbert is the player who has to make way here for the introduction of Alexander Kleb. But a solid enough Premiership debut by Kerry Gilbert today. Agreed,
I think he's done very well. No, I think there's no complaints as far as you know, the way that he's played. It's interesting now how Arsenal are going to go, because at the moment it looks as if Freddie Ljungberg is going to go and play as a right back, and Kleb just in front of him. It's a bold move by Arsene Wenger. Just makes him a little bit vulnerable at the back. But he's prepared to take the gamble because they need to get back into this game with a goal.
It's Freddie Ljungberg, the emergency right back now for Arsenal. Senderos's challenge.
I think that young man's done brilliantly for Everton today. You know, he might not have the stature and the physique of James Beattie, but he's not been frightened to put himself about during the course of the afternoon. He's made it difficult for both centre-backs. His movement's been good. He's touched every time the ball's gone into his feet. He's maintained control of the ball. A little bit unfortunate there, he hasn't had a free kick, but he really has done well up top alongside Beattie.
Here is Osman again. This time Ljungberg is there. It's a corner for Everton. Osman, by the way, was a member of that FA Youth Cup winning side of Everton in the late 1990s. Tony Hibbert was in that as well. The home fans enjoying seeing those two players come through to the top level in the Premiership side. What Everton would give for a 2-goal cushion. Arteta is playing it in there. It was Campbell's head who got to it first, though. Stubbs finds Beattie. Pires.
He's been an unsung hero for them, hasn't he, Tony Hibbert? In important challenges, doesn't maybe get the glory of one or two players in this Everton side, but does a very good job for them at right back. Extremely consistent.
Senderos. Henry, not like him, that ball. He made a present of it to Kilban there, the Arsenal skipper. Wouldn't be a bad time for him to score his first ever goal at Goodison Park from an Arsenal perspective. They need it.
I say they'll take one from anywhere. It doesn't have to be Thierry Henry.
Exactly. Lauren. Lev trying to find it on to Henry. Lev, who did get his first goal for the Gunners last week in that 7-0 win over Middlesbrough. Cahill battling away, and he was fouled as well, and this is getting frustrating for Arsenal now, and it's getting late.
You can see that frustration on a lot of the players, can't you? I think that they've tried to weave intricate patterns during the course of the afternoon without a huge amount of success. And Nigel Martin hasn't really been called upon to make too many outstanding saves. Recall the one that he made from Fabregas in the first half, but other than that, been fairly quiet, and that's unusual because Arsenal normally create a lot of chances.
It's another Everton free kick. Are Arsenal heading for a 6th away defeat in the Premiership? They've lost at Chelsea, Middlesbrough, West Brom, Bolton and Newcastle before this.
Well, I always believed that this was always going to be a season of transition for Arsene Wenger's side. You know, there's players here that have been playing regularly when perhaps a stronger squad, they might have been rested on more occasions. You need to deal with situations like this when they come to an Everton or go to Bolton.
Osman's trying to get in behind here, but that was always going to be Jens Lehmans.
I think they need to be stronger at times, mentally and physically, away from Highbury. Cahill might just get a yellow card for kicking the ball away there.
If so, he'll become the 3rd Everton yellow. I think it's just a talking to by the look of it. And Cahill would miss the FA Cup tie against Chelsea next week if he was booked. So that was teetering on the edge a bit there.
I think he's a lucky boy because, again, it's another situation that we've seen over and over again where players pick up yellow cards. And that was an important decision as far as Everton are concerned, because he is a massive player for this Everton side. Not just about his goals, but his movement from midfield and set pieces. They always cause sides problems, and he'll be a player that Chelsea will be worried about in the FA Cup.
By the way, Phil Neville's in the same situation on 4 yellows going into this one. The 5th, of course, puts you over the edge in terms of a 1-game ban. Here is Kleb. Loose ball from him. Osman. There's the clever Arteta. And Cahill. Kilban. Everton enjoying a little spell of possession, which of course gives their defenders a good break. Nuno Valente. To Arteta again. Great credit, isn't it, to David Moyes, the way he's been able to turn things around at Everton this season.
Well, I think he's clearly got a good spirit in the camp, and that certainly helps when you're not getting results. You need your players to stick together, and that's what they've done, and they're getting some reward from that.
Cahill, good-looking ball in. Campbell wasn't quite sure of his bearings. BT deflected. Oh, just wide.
Well, I can only think, Ian, there's a lack of communication between Lauren and Campbell as this ball comes into the box. This really should have been dealt with quite comfortably. In the end, BT gets some room at the far post. I don't think his strike would have troubled the goal, but it's given Everton a lift with having a corner.
But the deflection might have ended up anywhere, Brian.
I think BT's looked a little bit tired in this second half, I have to say. It wouldn't surprise me if David Moyes decides to change him for Duncan Ferguson.
There's a corner coming up first of all, though. Cahill on the jump for it. Lehman punches it away. Now Arsenal can break here if they're quick. Henry. This might find its way all the way to Gilberto here, but no, the covering's good enough again. Nuno Valente was across.
Just needed a bit more on the pass, didn't it, really? It allowed Nuno Valente to get back and deal with the situation, but Gilberto certainly had some space to run into.
Robin Pires to be replaced at this time by number 2, Abu Diaby.
Well, it's a Premiership debut here, indeed an Arsenal debut for Abu Diaby, who's been signed from Auxerre, the French club. He's a tall midfield player in training. Everybody at Arsenal saying he reminded them a bit of Patrick Vieira. On he comes anyway, see if he can make a difference. He's looked good on the training ground. Can he look good at Goodison? Fabregas worked hard to try to spark Arsenal. This is Abu Dhabi. Fee reckoned to be about 3 million, though it's officially undisclosed. Reyes. Kleb. Abu Dhabi. Stubbs blocked it, and then it came off Hibbert and fell nicely in the end for Nigel Martin.
That was a bit messy, wasn't it? It's a decent strike from Abu Dhabi from outside the box. Sometimes, you know, I think Arsenal need to do that a little bit more. We've seen Kleb just trying to thread a little ball through, which is very difficult to play. So many defenders around.
Difficult for Freddie Ljungberg having to play in that right back position. I thought when they brought Kleb on and took off Gilbert, they might be going to 5 in midfield, but no, that's not the way of it. Stubbs. Good climb by Sol Campbell. Reyes.
Well, again, Arsenal have just changed their formation slightly. Reyes has gone out to that left-hand side. Kleb on this right. Henry down the middle, and Abu Dhabi is just playing off Henry between midfield and attack, hoping that he can get forward and benefit from some of the runs that Henry's making.
He's still a bit of a rookie. He only ever played 10 games in the league for Auxerre. Still a learner, captain of the French under-19 side that beat England as well. Gilberto. Henry again carefully policed by David Weir. Lauren looking to work something. But Everton have worked their socks off in defence of this lead. Corban back to Nuno Valente. Now then, here's Kleb. Fabregas. Work for Hibbert in the end.
Yeah, good play from Tony Hibbert. You know, I said earlier, he really is an unsung hero. You know, doesn't make it complicated for himself. He just does the simple things when needed and defends properly.
Here's Arteta. And then Hibbert. You can just leave men back now, Everton. Cut out by Phil Neville. Truth is really that Arsenal, despite their pressure, haven't created that much, Brian.
Well, I've said that already.
By the way, at this time last week, Arsenal were leading Middlesbrough by 7 goals to 0. Different story today.
Everton substitution. Please show your appreciation for number 6, Mikel Arteta, and replacing
Arteta.
Number 9,
just a fresh pair of legs coming in here. Duncan Ferguson.
This is an interesting one. I can only think that they might just change their formation slightly. Everton, you know, Arsenal have done that. Beattie's going to go and play on that right-hand side. Ferguson just straight down the middle against the 2 centre-backs, and maybe Osman will just play slightly deeper.
Already a bit of argy-bargy between Ferguson and Campbell as that ball was in mid-air. Two will know each other of old, of course.
You know what you're going to get with Duncan Ferguson. You know you're in a football match, and he's used sparingly these days. You know, 10-15 minutes here or there. But Sol Campbell will have dealt with that in his career against Duncan Ferguson. I don't know what to expect, but it's a great option, really. You know, you can just stick that ball forward, and you know that the big fella will put people under pressure. He doesn't mind who he upsets. And I'll tell you what he does do, Ian, he lifts the crowd, and there isn't long left in this football match, and Everton are getting close to the winning line, and a much-needed 3 points.
Keep your eye on this conflagration, or a potential one, between Campbell and Ferguson. I don't know if there's a bit of history there, but the moment he came on, Ferguson was pushing and shoving with Campbell as the ball was in mid-air. It's a little bit volcanic, a bit of a powder keg, I think. Played in towards Osman. Hint of a nudge in the back, but nothing much really. Ljungberg. Philip Neville down towards the corner flag. Those sort of thoughts beginning to enter Everton minds already.
So there's nothing wrong with that, you know. Stick a ball in an area. I talked about in the first half, it's about playing the percentage game. You know, there's nothing fancy about this Everton side. They make sure that they put teams under pressure. I don't think they've done it as well in this second half. I think they've run out of steam a wee bit. In the first 45 minutes, they did it in abundance, and that probably might see them through to a victory.
They've still managed to prevent Arsenal getting much of a clear sight of Nigel Martin's goal throughout this second half. Long ball, but offside against Thierry Henry. 88 minutes now.
He's got incredibly frustrated. Thierry Henry, I don't think he's had anything of the service that he normally gets, certainly when he's playing in Highbury.
The Everton fans, well, they haven't started celebrating. They're too wise for that, I'm sure. But they're getting excited about it, put it that way.
Sometimes, you know, when it's very, very tight, you need to deal with the chances when they come along. And, Everton has certainly made full use of that, because they haven't really created an awful lot. But they've got the important goal, the goal that separates these two sides.
Gilbam's ball on towards Beattie. Hand off on Lauren. Referee says that was okay. Beattie pulls it back. Cahill scuffed it a bit.
Well, it's not the cleanest of strikes, is it, from Tim Cahill? He knows that's a big chance.
Henry. Abu Dhabi. Gilberto!
Well, that's equally as good. That was better from Arsenal. It was incisive, good movement, and there's all sorts now going off the ball, and that's resulted in an earlier incident, I think, when Thierry Henry felt that Tim Cahill had caught his ankles, and Henry wasn't going to let it go because he felt the referee didn't deal with it, so he's taken matters into his own hands, Thierry Henry. And now there's a free-for-all between both sets of players, but that really came about because Thierry Henry felt that Tim Cahill had clipped his ankles when Henry was scampering it down the left-hand side. And because Alan Wiley didn't go back and deal with it, Henry then has got involved.
Alan Wiley with a few things to sort out there, and it's a red card for Cesc Fabregas. And Cahill. It's Alan Wiley's decision, yellow for Cahill, and that knocks him out of the FA Cup tie against Chelsea next week.
Well, I think players have just really tried to take matters into their own hands, and that's just stupidity on Fabregas' part, because once you raise your arms to people, you know, and I think Henry's just... I mean, Henry, to be fair, was going over to have a word with Cahill about his late challenge on him moments earlier. Now, I think he was going to deal with it in the right and proper way. Unfortunately, Fabregas steps over the mark, and because of that, he gets a red card.
And a yellow too for Tony Hibbert in the aftermath of that incident as well. Red card for Cesc Fabregas. It's all gone wrong horribly, really, for Arsene Wenger and Arsenal here today. Confirmation of Tony Hibbert's booking, and the one for Cahill, which means he will not play against Chelsea in the FA Cup here next week. That's no easy tie for Chelsea, the battling qualities that Everton are showing at the moment. And we're in stoppage time now.
I don't think David Moyes will be thinking too much about the Chelsea game right now, and just hope that his side can hang on to this lead.
Absolutely, the points vital. Lehman has to go long. Stubbs gets it away. Abu Diaby, then Lauren, then Reyes. Abu Diaby. Again, Hibbert got it away, not very far. Now it's Gilberto for Arsenal, maybe last chance saloon for them. Henry. Leb goes down on the edge of the box. They were looking for a free kick. The referee wasn't buying that, and Everton bring it away. And Kilban will head in the general direction of the corner flag. Is brought down by a frustrated Jose Antonio Reyes, who gets a yellow card for that challenge.
Well, should they have a free kick at the other end? Debatable, the challenge on Kleb. Looks a bit overzealous from Nuno Valente, although I have to say Kleb tried to make the most of it. And in the end, that's just born out of frustration, really, the challenge on Kilban from Reyes. And that's because they know this game is beyond them, probably, Arsenal.
It's a terrible disappointment, this, for Arsenal, who could have gone fourth, above Tottenham on goal difference. I think the Spurs fans will be celebrating this win for Everton if it's going to be that. That will be a goal kick. Red card for Cesc Fabregas, the 18-year-old Arsenal midfield player. Among the talking points, and that's it. It's a fourth straight win in the Premiership, a great win for David Moyes' Everton side, and Arsenal slip to their sixth away defeat of the season and have Cesc Fabregas sent off as well. It was a feisty affair in the second half, but Everton hustling and bustling all the way just would not give Arsenal the chance to get back, and there was a conflagration at the end which resulted in yellow cards and a red for Fabregas. Let's have a look back on it and see exactly what happened.
Well, he's very frustrated, Thierry Henry, and this is the first instance when Henry goes away. There's a little clip there on his ankle. Now, to be fair to the referee, Henry's in good possession of the ball, so there's no reason for him to blow for a free kick. And then when it came to nothing, Fabregas decides to take matters into his own hands. He raises his arm against Cahill. I think Henry's perhaps going to have a word with Cahill, and then it's just a free-for-all. Players get involved, and in the end, the referee gives the youngster a red card. And the skipper of Arsenal walks away frustrated, but great delight for these Everton players. They've worked hard for that victory.
Thierry Henry swapping words and making a point to David Moyes, maybe about the original challenge, certainly about that incident, I would think, but David Moyes is absolutely delighted. Everton on a real roll. It's a great win and a great scalp for them. They've beaten Arsenal by a 0-0 here at Goodison.
James, you really had to work your socks off for that one.
Yeah, it's always going to be hard against Arsenal. You know, I think on the day they're the best passing team in the country, and we knew we had our work cut out for us today. So we just decided to get about them and see what we could do.
They got really frustrated by the end, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think we did as well. You know, there's 11 men against 11 men out there, and you know, the officials have got an hard job, but you know, I don't think they helped themselves today. But anyway, we got the 3 points, and that's all that matters.
Alan, you started the game on the bench. I weren't expecting to come on too quickly, I would have thought. How did it go for you?
It was, to be fair, it was all right. I didn't expect, to be pushed in that quick, but it's amazing what happens when when you come back to a club, and it was a great performance today. You always know Arsenal are going to pass you to death, and we just knew that we had to try and close them down, force them into mistakes, and I thought we'd done great. James' goal has capped off his performance. He's worked tirelessly for the team, and it was a fantastic performance in the end.
James, you look second best to get that ball, but you out-muscled two pretty strong defenders.
Yeah, well, I just thought I'll try and concentrate on getting the ball, and they were a bit indecisive on the bounce. And it was an opportunity for me to nip in between them, and fortunately I seen Lehman come in and just slipped it past him.
A year at Goodison now, up and down at times. Is this one of the highlights?
Yeah. Considering what my lows have been like, yeah, definitely. It's always fantastic to beat Arsenal, and the lads done a tremendous job today.
And Alan, not so long ago, I know you weren't here, but they were talking about Everton possibly going down. Now you're moving up the table.
Yeah, I think it's always been a false position. I think everyone knows that. But when you're down there, you can get sucked into it quite easily. But the last probably 4 to 6 games, Everton have been pushing in the right direction. The direction that the fans and the players, want to be pushing in, and today's performance is one that we knew would kick us on from now.
Welcome back to Goodison, but it's James who's the Barclays man of the match.
Oh. Well done, Phil.
Cheers, mate.
Well done.
Welcome back.
Different class.
Cheers.
David, the tactics were spot on today.
Yeah, it was just a really, really top performance by the players at Everton today. It's been coming, and it was a big result to win. You play before everybody else. Arsenal at home, we've been turned over once or twice recently by them, but today, we put in a big performance and a great result.
Have you seen what other teams have done to Arsenal away from home and sort of picked up some of that and applied it today?
Well, no, I think we've always tried to do that to Arsenal, but on their day, sometimes you can do it and it doesn't work. We thought we actually played quite well in the opening game of last season and lost 4-1, but today, I think we were at it, and we had chances today against Arsenal. We got round it, and we probably limited them to not too many opportunities.
James Beattie, your hero, your match winner today. It's been a difficult year for him, hasn't it?
It has been, but he came in and gave his bottle of champagne, kindly given by you, to Leon Osman. So that gives you an idea of the spirit in the camp, and gives you an idea what we think of everybody. I thought today they all deserved it. I thought from the boys at the back right through, I thought they'd done well, because you have to do well to beat Arsenal.
It got a bit heated at the end, didn't it?
Well, games like that get it. Arsenal are winners, they don't like losing, and we were determined to try and hang on to it, so that's what happens in games.
You had a word with Henri, or Henri had a word with you. It looked amicable.
Yeah, he was told me that he would take me out later on tonight.
Not so long ago, Christmas time, you were losing games, you were under pressure. Now suddenly you're moving up the table. What's happened? What's changed?
Well, I think the players what we've got are just coming into the sort of form we believed they had, and for a long period we didn't do that. But confidence is a big thing. We're on a bit of a run now. It makes you feel much better. It's much easier to manage when you're winning than what it is when you're losing. So things look a lot rosier, but we'll never take anything for granted here. We'll always work hard and try and keep picking up results.
I bet you're looking forward to that cup tie against Chelsea now, aren't you? Next week here.
Yeah, not as much as looking forward to tonight. After some of the Saturday nights we've had, I'm looking forward to tonight, I'll tell you.
We can start early. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, thank you.